Hey there, friend. Long time no see. 3 or 4 people out there at best might have wondered why I dropped everything I was doing out of the blue. I do want to tell you what happened, but let's just take the long way. Before we continue, a drink of choice is, of course, recommended. Pause me if you need to. I won't be offended. Ready? Okay. Picture a kitchen. My mother's kitchen, actually. Italian, light-colored, wooden table, dim lights. I remember one early morning, I was sitting at that very table. You know, homes and how they are. Objects and places, they become much more than what they were, initially. So a simple rectangular table, usually split in half between my mother's notes and my stepdad's documents, became a witness for me over time. I've had many heartwarming dinners there, birthdays, Christmas, heated arguments with my mom and stepfather, many pieces of unforgettable advice by them as well. They love each other very much and are more similar to me than I like to admit, in the rebellion of my youth. Okay, so you can easily understand why the table must be introduced properly. It's a place for epiphanies, coffee, and long talks with my sister, who is an infinite source of, wisdom and pizzazz. Anyway, back to that morning, right? I remember how dark it was outside and how awake I felt. It was early morning, like stupid early. And pretty much like I'm doing today. I was staring at the blank page with a coffee on my side. I go at my own pace now. I hate rushing things, any kind of thing, I wrote. You are the only person in the world who truly knows what your heart desires and how to get there, even if it doesn't always feel that way. It's been almost a year now, since I wrote these words. I wrote them without entirely believing in their truth. Behind them, there was the wish of fitting into that category of people that call themselves writers, even in the midst of the digital revolution. I wanted to be part of the survivors, the poets, the romantics who still think we need more books. I actually find it pretty wonderful that we care about other people's stories. Their voices and personality just exhaling through the screen. It feels like family to me. And a year ago, I remember feeling so lucky I was part of that circle. A circle of people writing stories, hoping for others to read them and go, yes, me too. I couldn't wait to finally find out how I could contribute to the circle, what I should be writing about. But writing is an odd creature. It's ancient and yet forced to be useful, monetized by decades of digitalization, cursed to be called content. I've been obsessing over finding a purpose since I can remember. My niche. Writing has always been my thing, and yet I was convinced I had to find the right topic to shape my creativity around something that could sustain me, so that I would never have to work again, not a single day in my life. Perfect plan. So entirely devoted to my own practice, or what I thought it should look like, I threw myself into a pit of expectations and found nothing but a sense of complete overwhelm waiting for me on the other side. I wanted to create things instead of working normal jobs because my time is, by definition, mine. Not because I'm more talented than others or less productive. My true happiness comes from complete and wild autonomy. Of course, I wanted to fit in. Of course, I wanted to be happy with a more traditional career, but I wasn't. I am, and forever will be, in spite even of myself, free to do whatever I please. And that, of course, does not call for strategic marketing. It just, it doesn't fit. So I've been playing around with this notion for a long time. But this last year, it's been transformative. I actually gave myself permission to try and support myself with my writing, and my writing only. So no more commission jobs, no more writing advertorials, no more writing commercial texts about websites where you can check out pictures of ladies' feet. Thank God AI is doing that now, the poor bastard. Anyway, giving myself, to the urge of just doing my own things actually turned out to be being able to live in absolute stillness, to learn how to bear a lack of direction, the same lack of direction by which I was so utterly terrified, by the way. I thought it would have been different. I thought I would have written, recorded, and made so many things. I didn't. This thought, though, it makes me happy. The thought of not doing something I truly wanted and still want to do. Well, it makes me happy because for the first time, maybe ever, I trusted myself completely. Even if I didn't know what I was doing or who I was becoming, I just trusted myself in relation to, my career and what I actually want. I couldn't continue desperately trying to overwork myself so that others would tell me that I'm good enough, because that's why I was doing it, absolute, external validation. After spending my 20s working full-time while studying, I properly hit a wall. A while ago, the thought of giving up on my old life, of embracing change in every form, it scared me dead. All my talents going to waste. What will others think of me? What will my parents think of me? They've always believed in what I could do, and yet here I am, 30 years old. Great promise. Apparently doing nothing and going out too much. I kept on going back to all my plans, my projects, and found myself completely unable to do a single thing. I just couldn't make myself do it. My online courses, even my PhD dissertation, or the simple act of talking into a microphone. So eager to find my right voice, the right thing to say, I ended up in a freeze state, unable to move a muscle, if not to escape into the warm embrace of my friends and the soothing rhythm of a good night out. I gave up. I can't, I won't, I will give into what my body wants instead, to just be. Of course, I thought of giving you an overview of all the things I've done so far anyway, to give myself credibility, to give you context, to make you understand that I'm not a lazy bag of weeds. See what I'm doing? I'm telling you, I've spent a year doing nothing, but I promise you, I kept myself busy while doing it. Please love me, please subscribe to my channel, support my work and fix my issues in my car, hug me and never let me go. I was so scared while making this episode, scared again of what anyone might think of me. To be called lazy and oblivious to the harsh truth of the world. To be someone, to be good enough, you must work yourself dry. Thank God. I recently discovered that I was born on the brink of Gen Z, so I won't do that. I won't give you an explanation and an extensive timeline of all the things I've accomplished in my year of absence from the podcast. I will do this instead. I will tell you what happened next, after I've experienced what I believe was something very close to a burnout. I slept so much. I gave normal work another chance and proved again that I can do it, but that I hate doing it and that I won't do it again. I just won't, okay? I did things on my own terms, and the most amazing thing happened. I did everything I wanted anyway, even without a clear purpose. I woke up. I existed. I felt enough by simply being. All my worries melted away into something that I would have, once called unashamed self-indulgence. Who does she think she is, doing the bare minimum? I was suddenly being entirely supported by something I thought I could never afford. Trust in myself. In the last year, I've experienced all the things that my heart desired without the constant guilt of not yet knowing who I am and what I'm meant to be. I finally made peace with not knowing the answer to the only question I've been asking myself over and over. What do I really want to do? And by not getting the answer, I discovered the best approach to find the way is letting myself be, even before I know the exact and unsinkable answer to the haunting question of my purpose on the planet. Truth is, I am a woman full of contradictions. I want to be many things, but if I had to pick one answer, happy and free would be it. Those two desires, they never change. I truly thought that something different would have happened after that I would have had this moment, this big epiphany where everything would fall into place. That, of course, it didn't happen. I had days and days of, blissful ignorance instead. Days where I found myself strolling with music in my ears, thinking of nothing but the peace I felt in spite of me. Something more internal, though. Something unexpected happened. I, for the first time in my life, felt the floor, like that inner pavement we all have. You know what I'm talking about. That feeling of being able to set foot on the ground within me. A moment of complete recognition, regardless of what I do. I can stand on my own ground. I can just trust it won't crumble. I'm not here to make myself drown in fear of not being enough. I want myself to be happy. Nothing dramatic happened after that epiphany either, by the way. No breakthrough, no big career achievement or milestone, just an inner step. An inner step, that's all that was, just, landing. I can tell you this much. I spent years spiraling around, looking desperately for my purpose. And for all this time, I never looked at myself without a purpose to define me. I thought I needed a purpose to feel worthy, to feel proud, and to know who I was. I can blame capitalism, but that doesn't make it hurt less. Without a big moment, but thanks to a gazillion of small moments, I did find my purpose. My purpose is enjoying my life and embracing my change of direction. As the direction, is not set, it is all I want it to be. I am the direction. Or, as my dear friend Mattia said, I am not the old man on the mountain. I am the fucking mountain. So in a world where everything needs a purpose, a call to action, I find myself more comfortable writing, just to share. I find it a small but revolutionary act. Read my words, listen to my voice, and go live your life. Just forget about me. Then come back if you ever feel like it, but you owe me nothing. So I won't pitch my niche, my projects. I won't be a product of my time. I won't turn my art into a selling product. I will just keep you company and trust that's all you need from me. I'll talk to you next time.